Hey Norwegian Cruise fans, and welcome to my channel Cruise with Grant, where we talk about all things Norwegian Cruise Lines. Today's video is going to talk about the top 5 things that you need to do on the first day of your cruise to make sure that you don't miss out on one-of-a-kind entertainment, that you're able to use all your specialty dining, and a few other things. If you stick around to the end of this video, I'll also share some top tips with you about how to make sure you have the comfiest vacation possible. So without further ado, let's go. So let's count down the top 5 things that you need to do on the very first day of your cruise, starting with number 5. So even before you get on board the ship, if you're landing in the airport or if you are waiting in line to board and you've got access to some Wi-Fi, make sure that you've downloaded the Norwegian Cruise Line app. It's really going to unlock a whole bunch of things that will help to make your cruise easier. The app allows you to look at the daily schedule of events, so you can see what's happening in the morning, the afternoon, and the evening. You can also favorite items. So if there's things that you want to make sure that you don't miss, you can have a list of just the things that you're interested in taking part in during the day. The app also allows you to make reservations for specialty dining, to book shore excursions, and it puts together a nifty schedule so that you can see for all of your cruise where you have excursions booked, when you've got dining, to make sure that you don't accidentally miss anything. You can also look at your onboard account. So if you're purchasing drinks, spa packages, or other items, you can get a rundown day by day of all of the things on your account. Coming in at tip number 4 is explore the ship. And this doesn't have to be as confusing as just getting out and trying to figure out where everything is on your own. There's a number of different tools that you can use to help you get oriented, especially on your first day or two of the cruise. Now, if you've downloaded the Norwegian app, you'll notice in the menu that one of the options that's available is deck plans. So if you want to go deck by deck and look at what's available, that's an option that might be a good fit for you. But if you're not into squinting and looking on your phone, you can also go down to the guest services desk and you can find a paper copy of the map for your cruise ship. So here's an example of the map that I picked up when I was on my most recent cruise on the Norwegian Encore. I like the paper maps because it also lets you look at all of the decks at once rather than just going one deck at a time like you can do in the app. The last thing I wanted to mention about helping you get settled on your cruise is look at the Freestyle Daily newsletter for the first day of the cruise. Oftentimes there's not as much going on as people are getting settled, but frequently the cruise ships will sneak in a guided tour by the cruise staff to help you look at all the different public areas. When I was most recently on the Norwegian Encore, they also had a guided tour that was really a great way to get to know the ship. Tip number 3, get to know your room steward. They're going to be the one who's going to be taking care of you throughout your cruise. If you're not sure who your room steward is, there's a couple of ways that you can find out. They might be in the hallway helping to get people settled on embarkation day, but you can also look and there'll either be a card in your stateroom that has the name of your steward, or for some of the newer Norwegian ships, they'll also have it preloaded onto your television like they did for me on the Norwegian Encore. It's good to get to know your steward because they can be the one who can help you if there's anything missing from your room, if you're looking for any additional things like lotion, and this is connected to one of the bonus tips that I'll share with you at the end of the video. In the number 2 spot, we've got one of the things you absolutely have to do on board your first day of the cruise, and that's booking your onboard entertainment. So things like comedy and also the Broadway shows on some of the larger Norwegian ships. When I was on the Norwegian Encore, there were a few shows like the Choir of Man that were running many times in the course of my cruise, but Kinky Boots, for example, was only running on one day of the cruise, so you want to make sure that you make reservations to make sure that you don't miss out on that unique entertainment. Some of the venues also, like the comedy club, were fully booked within the first day of the cruise. So you want to make sure that you go to the box office on board and make reservations. You can also make reservations for other types of entertainment on board some of the larger ships. So things like laser tag or the Speedway, those also fill up really quickly. On the Encore, I tried showing up just to make a reservation on the spot for the Speedway, and it was fully booked for the day. So doing those things in advance can really help to make sure that you're doing all of the things that you want to in the time that you've got on your cruise. Now, for those of you who have watched any of my videos before, my number one tip is probably not going to be a surprise to you because it's related to food, and that's making reservations for your specialty dining while you're on board. If you've purchased some dining packages in advance, or if you've received the specialty dining perk through the Free at Sea program, and don't forget to check out my video on the specialty dining Free at Sea perk, you'll want to make sure that you can make the most of these by making your reservations early. Some of the popular restaurants like Cagney's are full on the very first day, so unless you're into eating at 9 o'clock at night, you're going to want to make sure that you're making your reservations early. To help you make reservations, you'll find that the cruise ships will have set up a special area where you can make your reservations on the first day. In some cases, that's in one of the dining venues, like it was on the Norwegian Encore, or they'll have something set up in the lobby or atrium area where you can make reservations for all of your cruise. At that same desk, you'll be able to purchase a dining package if you haven't already, and you'll have the ability to look at all of the menus for all of the specialty restaurants on board. So if you haven't yet made your decision about which restaurants you're wanting to check out, you can have a look at all of the menus and then make your reservations for all of the dining you'll do through your cruise. Thanks for sticking around to the end of this video. I'm going to share with you one of the bonus tips about something you need to do on the first day of your cruise to make it as comfy as possible. So what many people don't know is you can request a bathrobe from your room steward on the first day. And something that I learned on my last cruise was that not all bathrobes are created equal. So by default, if you ask for a robe, they're going to give you this sort of generic Norwegian bathrobe. And don't get me wrong, it's very comfortable. But I found out from my last cruise through my room steward that there are actually 3 different types of robes on board. There's the generic one that's available to everyone. There's one that's for people who are in the spa balcony, and then they have a very plush and luxurious one that's available to people in the haven. So if you have a particularly kind room steward like I did, they may be able to get you one of those more premium, very, very comfortable robes for you to enjoy throughout your cruise. If you're looking for other tips to help you make the most of your Norwegian cruise, don't forget to check out my videos on the Free at Sea series and how all of Norwegian's Free at Sea promotions work. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel. It really does help me out and motivates me to keep creating content to help you make the most of your Norwegian cruise. I hope you're having a great day and look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye!